Hi. Last time I recorded day 7 and implemented the death HUD for the stats of the player when he dies. So you can see how many waves he survived, his player ID and the total kills. But unfortunately, the changes I made did get falsely recorded. So I had an audio issue where I had to delete the file, and so I stick for the code review for the changes I made last time with this video, and we'll keep it pretty short. So day 7 audio fail. So let's take a look at the code, what I just did. So when a player dies, the death HUD gets displayed, the wave number he died and gets also displayed, and the total kills he made. Yeah, also the player ID, which is static currently, but will be like the player name when I implement split screen or multiplayer mode. Yeah. So let's take a look at the death screen first. Yeah, the second part of the death HUD is also the ability to restart the level, otherwise the game got stuck on the death screen and you can't do anything but restart the entire game, and that's not what I want. I want to have the player to be able to restart it with a button, so I added a restart button on the death screen. So it's loading up. Go. Hopefully everything is still as I left it in a working state. So grab SMG. 3 kills. And now I let them kill me. So as you can see, my player ID is 0. That's the player control ID. It's static currently and should be the player name. And this should also be displayed as a group for each player. So the last wave was the wave I was currently in. That's correct, the one. And I killed 3 of the enemies. So now I'm able to restart the game and it does not get infinitely displayed on the ending screen here. So I can click restart and the game begins again. So that's what I implemented. Take a look at the head-up display or the screen. So I added these fields and some bindings behind it. So as you can see, okay, we got a problem here. Take a look at it right now. Null pointer maybe, yeah. Or we check for the length. Null pointer exception. We need to check that. Length of the player must be greater than 0, and then we can get the text of the money. And also check if he's alive. He should be 2. Yeah, that should get rid of this. Try again. So I introduced the bug yesterday, I assume, without noticing. Just null pointer that I forgot. So now he can kill me. No. Okay, some minor issues there. So I click restart and enter game. So seems to be gone now. The issue with the null pointer. So let's get back to what I did using this widget or HUD. So behind the designer and the graph, when the widget gets created by the player controller after he dies, I set the input mode to game and UI to get the mouse control and to make it focusable. Yeah, show mouse cursor. Set the total kill count on this widget. Text, like this sets this one here. And the active wave also. So let's get called once the widget gets, this widget gets attached to the viewport, and this is the button click event for the restart button. It's pretty simple. It gets the current level name, like Graveyard, Stylized Graveyard Demo is the level name currently, and just opens it again with default game state, like just the beginning of the game where you can just start. And then I switch back to the input mode game only to get rid of the mouse and the UI controls. So that's about it for the widget I implemented. I have no binding for these two since they get called with every tick, which I don't want. So I set it once and that's good. The player ID is bound to a function that currently does nothing and needs to be implemented for split screen or multiplayer and gets the player ID 0 or just 0 for single player controller. Yeah, that's it for the first part. That was the death HUD and the ability to restart the game with the button was also explained. So the last thing I did on day 7 was to look after the AI and cleaned it up a little bit and made it wander around or stick idle. To be honest, this is idle, not wander around. And we can take a look at it now. AI, character, and the behavior tree. Yeah. Here we got a selector and a state machine of the AI that checks in which state the AI should be in and sets it. Like this gets called every tick for the AI, and we check if the current player is alive. Then we check if this AI that is currently using this blueprint, like the enemy that is running this, we check if the actor of the enemy in reach is the player. So if he's close to me, we set this state to combat, and that triggers the animation state to attack and the player to take damage. So yeah. If the player is not alive, we set the state to idle. And that was previously not the case. Idle was not set, so they kept on walking, I guess. And that looked stupid since they did walk in place. Yeah. So if the actor in reach is not the player, so if this enemy is not in reach of the player, then the cast fails and we switch the blackboard state to moving to player. Let's take a look at the behavior tree, like the state machine. So this runs, and this checks for the state. State is idle or state is moving to player. Idle is a separate task that I created. Move to is just a simple move to. That tries to follow to the player no matter what. So if the state changes to moving to player, then just follow, plain and stupid. If the state is idle, then we run this task. And this task makes sure that the player does not run in place. I set the movement speed of the movement component of the enemy that is running this behavior tree to 0, so the animation won't get any speed changes, which triggers the animation to run. So how can I explain it better? Setting the speed of the enemy movement component also triggers the speed of the animation of the walking. So if I set it to 0, he's just idle. If I set it to 100, he's running. Like, yeah. So the task idle just sets the movement speed of the player to 0, and does this if the player is dead. So we check for alive, false. So if the player is dead, set the walking speed to 0, and then they stay idle after killing me. Like, not running in place after killing me, but staying idle. And I need to run this finish execute with success. Otherwise, other child node in this sequence won't get called. So that's about it. Pretty simple. Not a real AI, but a bunch of tasks and a state that triggers the corresponding action of the enemy. So that was implemented and improved or cleaned up yesterday. Yeah. So that's the wrap up for Devlog day 7. Pretty short one. Let's just write down what we'll do on the next one. I think power-ups could be added. Power-ups. Just like the money stacks that follow the dead enemy that gives the player some cash, we need our logic to spawn power-ups. Just like a manager class that checks maybe does the player need some ammo, or is he running out of ammo and has no money on some ammo or something, or if he gets overwhelmed and almost and has almost no health and almost died, so just give him like a blast that kills all the enemies and something like that. So I need a central logic to spawn power-ups. It should be player state dependent. Yeah. So we need something to take a look at the player state. Is he struggling? Is it easy for him? Something like that. And then sprinkle the power-ups in. Yeah. And spawn to make it not too hard and not too simple, so we need to figure that out, how to do that. And then we need to create the power-ups, like meshes, and maybe sounds for it, yeah. Yeah. And We can implement maybe some of them, not all of them, but maybe some of them we can implement in day 8. So I called it blast. That kills all the enemies if you collect it. Some ammo maybe, like refill all weapons. And the damage amplifier, maybe next time. Like 1 kill with 1 shot, something like that. Can get rid of that and yeah. What damage in Quake, if you might know this. Yeah, okay. So as I said, unfortunately the audio was messed up on day 7, so I need to wrap it up and I hopefully explain what I did. And next time I will work on the power-ups and the spawn logic for the power-ups that need to be semi-intelligent or a little bit player state aware or something like that. So we have more fun playing, not unlimited ammo and unlimited blasts or something like that, but just to get the player over the current wave. Just about the edge over the wave so he can play the next wave. To make it more fun and playing a little bit with the pressure I put on the player while playing the game, or even reducing the stress of the player in intense combat situations or something like that. Yeah, that's it for today. Next time we will look at the power-ups and implement some spawn logic for the power-ups. Yeah. Okay, thanks for watching and until next time. Bye.